does marriage matter? You may say, of course it does. Or you may say, well, no, it's not very important. As long as you love each other and you're committed to each other, you don't need a piece of paper, you don't need a marriage certificate. And those are two of the most common views about marriage in our society. The view that marriage doesn't matter has been increasing significantly over time. Let me give you some statistics on this. Back in 1970, at that time, 95% of people, young people in that time, could be expected to marry at some point in their lifetime. Since then, marriage has been declining sharply, and in the last data we have before the COVID outbreak, which obviously affected weddings, it was 4.5 per 1,000. In other words, the marriage rate has almost halved in those 50 years. So, does marriage matter? Well, what I want to suggest is that marriage matters hugely when there are children. Because children need a safe and stable and nurturing environment. And de facto relationships, just living together outside of marriage, doesn't supply that. If you look at the data on this, when you take couples with children, the breakup rate of those who live together outside of marriage is something like 3 to 4 times as high as married couples. Now that's after controlling for educational levels, ethnicity, all sorts of factors in these studies. And it's a consistent finding all across the Western world. And what we're seeing now, with so many relationships with children breaking up, something like 40% of all children who reach their later teenage years experience their parents living apart. A massive increase from even 25 years earlier. With all the instability in relationships with children, we're seeing a terrible toll on young people's mental health. Young people with mental health problems, serious mental health problems, are twice as likely to be in a single parent family, a step family, a blended family, than if their parents are living together still. Now that's hard to hear because many of us have broken relationships, and we have friends who have broken relationships, and we have family members who have broken relationships. And we don't like to talk about these issues because nobody wants to judge anybody else's decisions or their relationships. We are all frail, we're all fragile, we can all go through these hard times. For kids, breaking up usually means a period of disruption. There's usually a short-term dip in academic performance, but the statistics show that there can be a much longer impact of that, at least for some children, affecting their life chances, affecting their chances of going to university. So we have a problem as a society. This is an issue we're not talking about. Maybe it's an issue we're too scared to talk about. But we cannot keep indulging the fantasy that marriage doesn't matter.